Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to pieces of artwork that I've achieved with the Ultra. Now this is going to be my last sort of review and talk through about this brush. You're going to see a lot more of this brush on the channel with pieces of artwork because at the minute I can't put it down, I'm permanently picking it up. I got sent this brush out by Warwick from Steenbeck. He got in touch with me and said I'd like to send you the Ultra out, put it through its paces, try different paints with it, tell me your thoughts, give me some feedback and do some videos for your subscribers just to show our new brush. So I did. They sent it out, I opened it up and it instantly sent me back to my original starting out days with H&S because I started out with the Focus. I'll pop a picture up of the Focus now. So this is the original Focus. The body and that looks very similar to the Ultra, so it just sort of gave me a little flashback thinking, whoa, H&S. And it was like, get it out of the box. The minute I got it out of the box, I'm then thinking, right, I've got to think back to being a beginner, starting out. So I picked the brush up. The first thing I picked up on with the brush was the weight. It's a nice weighty brush, and I think that's what you need as a beginner. You want the feel. So everything about this brush is feel and how it teaches you. So you've got a nice weighty, solid triple chrome brush. Now if you're thinking of a brush like, oh, is the build quality any good, the price bracket's this, is it any good? It is, because I've got an original Evolution there from H&S which is 14 years old and it works absolutely perfect. So that's 14 years old with a single plate chrome. The new Ultra is triple plate chrome, so yes, the brush is going to last. The brush will probably outlive you and you'll be passing it down to the next generation who wants to paint with it. So you're getting a real solid weighty brush, first and foremost. The next thing you need as a beginner is a brush that is easy to dismantle and put back together. You will not get an easier brush than H&S. I look at H&S's as Lego. If you ever played with Lego as a kid, you click it together, it's nice and simple, you can build things, you can instantly get on Lego and start making things. H&S brushes are very like Lego, they just disassemble and then you click it back together. And you don't really need a guide either, you can just take the pieces off like the cup on the Ultra. You don't screw it, you just pull it away from the body and it locates to the body really nice. Everything about it is just simple. And that's what you need as a beginner, because it's frustrating when you buy a brush and in the box you see a little spanner and there's all these little bits and you think, oh, and you undo the back and the trigger falls out and it's in a couple of pieces and it's like, oh, it's stressful. These brushes are not stressful, they're nice and simple. So you've got that side of things. The next thing you need as a beginner is a responsive trigger that gives you feel and feedback. You don't need a trigger that is ridiculously soft, so when you're a beginner you press it and you instantly shoot back because you'll blast loads of paint out. You won't be able to learn your trigger control with a real soft trigger starting out. You want that feedback. This trigger, they've designed it so it teaches you how to get your double action trigger movement. So you have to press down and then you can move back. You can't move back on the trigger unless you press down. So it's teaching you to go down for air, back for paint, down for air, back for paint. And that's one thing that you've got to master when you're moving into doing airbrushing. You have to learn the trigger because it's all about mastering the trigger to achieve pieces of artwork as you go along your journey. So they've designed the trigger to go down for air, back for paint. So brilliant. They also have designed this trigger to move further back. So when it comes to cleaning, you can get rid of your paint out the cup very, very quick. A couple of drops of airbrush cleaner, little white round with a paper towel, blast it through, you're good to go, your brush is clean. They've designed the front of the brush very simple as well, because a lot of beginners, when they get their brushes, they'll take the crown cap off and they work with the crown cap off because they see all these other artists working with the crown cap off, and it's like, well, I must be working with the crown cap off. And then they dink the needle because they go in too close and they dink it on the panel and they bend the needle. This has been designed to work with the full head assembly on, so you don't take any pieces off the front. Your needle's protected at all times. So if you use one of the pots where you've got the little airbrush hanger on it, you can just chuck the brush in and you know you're not going to damage the front end. If you do get tip dry, another thing they've designed, they've thought that ticks all the boxes. You've got little holes that go round the front of this head assembly. To clean your needle, if you look at it and think, oh, I've got a little bit of tip dry on there, or you feel the brush spitting slightly, get yourself an artist brush, dip it in a bit of your airbrush cleaner and just poke it down the holes, and the holes guide it towards the needle, so instantly the brush will clean through the holes, cleans the needle. Quick blast, job done. So that's another good feature with this brush. The next feature, because it's full of them, you've got a sleeve setting to the back. Now this works really well, and I've used this on these portraits here. So if you want to see the sleeve setting controls on how it works, jump onto these videos. You will see an image of the sleeve setting pop up at the side of the screen, and in the time lapse I've put the image of the sleeve setting exactly where I am on that piece of artwork, and I'm using the sleeve settings, and it just makes your life really, really easy, because you can start judging your distance, set your sleeve setting, which gives you the guide paint. So you press down, move back, and that will stop you at that point and put that correct amount of paint down. So it's showing you the amount of paint on these different sleeve settings as you work. So if you want minimal paint, you go to say number 3. You can go up closer, pull down, press back. You're going to get that right amount of paint coming out of the brush. So they've thought of that bit for a beginner. When you take the back of the body off, as I say, everything's touchy-feely. The sleeve setting, you move it and it locks into place. You can feel it move. It slides and then sort of locates to each setting. You take the back off, and we all know on other brushes you get the chucks to the back. Now, as a beginner, when you strip it down, you take the needle out. On smaller chucks that go to the back of airbrushes, they have a tiny little hole which is basically the thickness of your needle, and you have to slide it in the back. Some of the small chucks, you go to put it in and you can dink the needle. I've done it in the past as a beginner with other brands. Gone to put the needle in and you dink it and you bend the tip of the needle. With the H&S's, they've got a self-locating chuck at the back of the brush, so you can put this in the hole, because it's a bigger hole at the back. You can angle the needle like that and you can just push it in. It self-locates down to the front, and then you just tighten it up nice and easy. You've also got another indicator on the back, so if you've got a few brushes and you've got a load of needles hanging around, you end up doing a big strip down and clean, and you're thinking, oh, where's the H&S needle? I've got all these needles in the drawer. Oh yeah, it's that one, because they've got indicators on the back of the needle. So they've thought of everything to make your journey easy starting out. Now, a little bit about applications that I've used with this brush. If you're coming from a painter's background and you're used to spray guns, you're doing automotive, and you really want to get into custom painting and start airbrushing, the Ultra's the brush for you. The reason why I say that is I've done test panels using solvent paints, because Warwick said give it a test. So I thought, right, I'm going to put some solvent paints down this brush, try it out, see how it lays metallics down and see how it lays candies down. I did a black Range Rover metallic. Now this has got a lot of pearl in it. You've got like a blue, a red, a silver, and it laid the paint down absolutely perfect on that panel. I also did my Dred FX one, which was a candy green marble, so we dropped silver metallic down, and then I did light passes with green candy, and it laid that down really well as well. So if you're a beginner and starting out, because there's loads of routes to go down, you can go down the automotive, you could go down t-shirts, you could go down cake decorating, you could go down portraits. These brushes will cater for you right from the off, and you can go on your journey with H&S. And this is what I did when I started out. I started with H&S and enjoyed the journey along the way. Now they've released another brush which I've got here, and this is going to be the next review for you guys, and it's the new Evolution CR Plus. Now people say, well, why do I need another brush? Because companies release their next brush and they sort of expect you to buy it. Now the reason why you buy the next brush is you start out with the Ultra. The Ultra is going to teach you your trigger control, so you'll get that muscle memory, so you know how to work a very harder trigger that's got a lot more response, so it gives you that feel. You can get the feel. You use the settings on the sleeve that will start to show you your distances and teach you your distances with the brush. So you'll master your trigger, you'll master your distances, you'll see how the atomization is with the H&Ss, and then as you progress, you then want that little bit more finesse. You're starting to get a lot more detail, you're doing a lot tighter art pieces of artwork, and you want that little bit more finesse and then little extra features, that little bit more precision. You move on to the Evolution, like I did back in the day. I moved on from the Focus and I moved on to the Evolution, stuck with the Evolution right the way up until they launched the Infinity, and then I moved on to the Infinity, which was the ultimate in precision and detail and finesse, the way it releases the paint. So it's a great brand to get under the umbrella and start your career. I did years ago with the older brushes, and now I've come full circle. 2024 for me is like, I'm going to love it, absolutely love it, because I know what's coming from H&S, and just by using the Ultra, and it's a beginner's brush for me as a seasoned artist, I can make that thing achieve this with ease. So it's going to make your journey very, very easy, guys, and that's what you want. You don't want to struggle as a beginner. This company will make your journey easier to get on with, and you'll just enjoy it, and that's what it's about. Don't struggle with a cheap rubbish brush, because you will end up throwing it away and buying another one and buying another one and buying another one. Buy the right one to start off with, start your journey, and then move up the brands, and I guarantee you will absolutely love it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one, because we are showcasing the Evolution, and that thing's going to blow you away. So enjoy your Ultra. I'll leave a link to the Hardware & Steenbeck website where you can pick the Ultra up from. There's a little bit more info on the Ultra. I'll also leave links to Warwick's reviews and videos and showcasing that one, because he will give you more in-depth specs and things like that, because it's the guy that created it and he knows his stuff. So thanks for watching again. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification, click over to the links. They're well worth watching, and I'll see you in the Evolution review. Cheers, guys.